Give me fuel, give me fire, give me double time.
The SRA Cannon Throwback Series chase came to the Charlotte Motor Speedway for race number 2 of Free in the Contender round, and everyone knew that they needed a good finish with Talladega on the horizon. Bobby Zalenki was on the pole, Benjamin Nelson was second, David Shutt, Marcus Richardson, and Eric Sable the top 5, as the field went around Charlotte for 130 laps, and the start did not go well for Benjamin Nelson. Marcus Richardson splits him in the middle of turn 1 and 2, and Nelson would fall to 5th, and then it got worse. Lap 2, Nelson whacks the wall, climbs the wall, bashes it a couple more times, and behind him on the checkup, Connor Anton rams Austin Roberts and hits the wall and spins to the inside. He would continue on, no caution would come out as a result. And then lap number 5 was a 4-car fight for the lead. Bobby Zalenki was leading it, but David Shutt took a look to the inside and tried to make a pass on the bottom side, but with the preferred groove on the day surface being on the top side, it would not work out for David Shutt as he would fall back to the 4th spot. And then lap number 7, Marcus Richardson would use the inside line to take the lead on Bobby Zalenki as he drove it in deep, but then Zalenki would actually get a run on the exit of turn 2, and he would get to the inside entering turn number 3. But while those two were battling side by side, Eric Sable saw an opportunity and decided to go for it. He gets a good run, the exit of turn 4, cuts it down to the bottom side, and they would go 3 wide for the lead as they would head to turn 1. Eventually, Marcus Richardson would hang on, and he would continue to lead. And then lap number 9, things got worse for Benjamin Nelson. He netcodes into Austin Roberts just by a little bit, and Roberts would slide out of turn 4, and Nelson actually helps them to save the car, but the first caution would come out. Then it was a fight for the lead between Marcus Richardson and Eric Sable on lap number 17. Sable would come on to lead, while behind him, Jesse Schwartz got bumped by up in 3 and 4. That forced a chain reaction. Caleb Eisenhower gets into Ariati, and Adi goes bouncing off the wall and then goes for a long slide. He tried his best to save the car. He would spin on the front straightaway, and the second caution would come out. And then we fast forward to a long battle between Bobby Zalenki, Eric Sable, and Marcus Richardson fighting for the lead, and Sable was under intense pressure. Eventually, Zalenki would actually go for the race lead on lap number 50, but because of that inside line not working so well, Sable would actually hang on. But then a big turning point came in the race on number 53. Marcus Richardson blows by Sable 1 and 2 with a big dive bomb, and he would take the lead, and then Sable would actually cross him over. They nearly banged fenders on the back straightaway, and as they came into turn 3 and 4, they would touch, and Richardson goes into the outside wall. His chance at the win was effectively over. And then Bobby Zalenki would reel in Eric Sable on that number 57, and he would take over the race lead. Sable tried to cross him over, but eventually Zalenki would hold on. In fact, on the very same lap, Zalenki would make his green flag pit stop as that cycle was starting to begin. And then that cycle nearly ended. Bobby Chinney got into Connor Anton on lap number 63. Anton makes a great save though to continue on. And then on lap number 75, problems for Jared Darling. He hit the wall at turn 2 and then gets punted by Femi Olak. Goes hard in the inside wall, but no caution would come out because he was down on the apron of the racetrack. In all this chaos, Jesse Schwartz was on a different cycle from everyone else. He would pit on lap number 76, and as he would cycle around, he would take over the race lead. But the lead did not last for very long as Bobby Zalenki would eat him up and reclaim the top spot on lap number 108. A little bit behind, there was a 3-car fight for a top 5 position, that being 5th place, with David Shutt, Ariati, and Femi Ola in a tight mix, and saw Ariati take a couple looks at him, and Ola would eventually drop back. And then Schwartz on his older tire would start to get eaten up by Shutt and Adi, and in fact, Shutt and Schwartz touch in turn 3, and Schwartz goes into the outside wall, and that actually opened the door for Ariati because Shutt a lap later nearly hit the wall at turn 2, and Shutt almost loses the 4th place position to Ariani, but eventually he would hold him off. And as for the front of the field, it would be Bobby Zalenki cruising to take his 2nd consecutive win in the chase and at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Final results were Bobby Zalenki, Eric Sable, Alex Peck in 3rd, David Shutt 4th, Ariani 5th, Femi Olat 6th, Jesse Schwartz, despite the hit in the wall, was 7th, Dante Ballard, Nicholas Caressel, and Kyle Putz round out the top 10. And in terms of the point standings for the top 6 chase spots, Bobby Zalenki and Eric Sable were fairly comfortable in their positions. Then is a tough stretch from Jesse Schwartz down to around Connor Anton as they were fighting it out for the top 6 chase spots, with Talladega looming on the horizon.
Whether you're planning a big residential move or a small one, Williams Moving and Storage can help. At Williams Moving and Storage, we can provide you with personalized service to make your move as stress-free as possible. Online estimates at williamsmoving.com.
What a great shot. And that's it.
The richest purse in curling history. The cream of the curling world. $250,000 is on the line as the world's best meet at the Moncton 100. Over 15 leading rinks go head-to-head. World champions, Olympic medalists, and Canadian title holders. All in one tournament. The world's best meet at the Moncton 100, January 6th and 7th, right here on TSN.
The SRA Slick Daddy Gen6 Series came to the Kentucky Motor Speedway for their 2nd race of their chase, and all eyes were on Bobby Zalenki as he was looking to complete his 2nd consecutive weekend sweep. Zalenki was on the pole, but behind him at the very start, keep an eye on Aaron Cummings as they check up. He rams Connor Anton, and that gets damage to the rear of Anton's car. Zalenki, Sable, Alex Peck, Freddie De La Rosa, and Jared Darling were the rest of the top 5 as the field broke off for 130 laps. There was some action though as on lap 2, Sable tried his darnest to get by Zalenki to get a lap lead, but eventually it was to no avail. Behind him, however, there was problems for Jonathan Shipman. He was battling Jared Darling, got loose and smacked the turn 4 wall. He would save it and continue on, but he would eventually have to pull out with too much damage. Meanwhile, toward the front, Freddie De La Rosa was running 2nd, but on the inside of turn 2, he makes a great save to avoid wrecking the car. He would fall eventually to the 5th spot after that save. And also there was a guy charging up for the field, that being Femi Olat. He started in 11th place, and he would take over the number 2 spot away from Eric Sable as he was making his presence felt later on this race. And then things got worse for Connor Anton. On number 36, he lost it out of turn 4 and whacked the outside wall, but surprisingly kept it going with no caution coming out as a result. And then things got worse for Freddie De La Rosa. He got too high out of turn 2 and hit the outside wall and slides down and creamed the inside wall. He would also continue on, also no caution, but his day was also over. Meanwhile, the front of the field, it was Bobby Zalenki putting on an absolute clinic, with the only guy even able to keep pace with him was Nicholas Shelton, but Shelton started deep in the field. Otherwise, it would have been a pretty close battle. And Bobby Zalenki would go on to dominate Kentucky and complete his 2nd consecutive weekend sweep here at Kentucky. The final results were Bobby Zalenki, Nicholas Shelton, Ariani, Alex Peck, Femi Olat was 5th, David Shutt, Jared Darling, Eric Sable, Caleb Eisenhower, and Lachlan McMillan were around the top 10 after Kentucky. And in the chase for the top 6 point standings, it was a fairly tight battle from about 3rd place David Shutt back to Delonte Ballard in 10th, as those positions are pretty well on the line at the next race at Talladega, which is also going to be a crapshoot.